This was supposed to be her fairy tale debut. But instead, Rachel Zegler's Snow White has become a box office horror story. Empty theaters. Viral humiliation. And now over 1,200 venues have pulled her movie from the schedule. Rachel Zegler's Hollywood career is on the verge of collapse, and it's all playing out in real time. What went so wrong, and can she ever recover?
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line.
Disney's Snow White remake has become company's worst nightmare. The film has reached a humiliating new low, sealing its place as the worst-rated Disney release of the decade.
The numbers don't lie, and what they reveal is nothing short of catastrophic. Just weeks after release, Disney's Snow White saw a mass retreat from the box office. What started in over 3,750 theaters quickly dropped to 2,540, a staggering loss of more than 1,200 venues. That's not just a flop, that's a controlled demolition.
To keep talking about Snow White, because Disney's Snow White remake, the box office suffered a 66% drop in the second weekend of shooting. So the film's flop could end up costing Disney millions of dollars. We know that the movie is currently one of the lowest IMDb rated movies of all time, receiving a 1.6 out of 10 rating. It's generated $153 million global to date, which is well short of the $250 million that Disney has spent producing the film, and that doesn't even include the marketing expenses.
Online, the humiliation was unavoidable. Fans flooded TikTok and Twitter with footage of completely empty showings. One user bought a ticket expecting a packed Friday night crowd, only to find herself watching the film alone. The video went viral. Not because it was funny, but because it confirmed what so many feared. Nobody showed up.
Okie dokie. I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. Ho, it's off the walk we go. Ho. Sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two. Okay. 2.
As a good reporter, I went to check it out myself yesterday here in Shanghai. Now, including myself and my friend, the entire IMAX cinema, just 5 audience members. And that is despite Disney going all out in the promotion of the film here in China. There was even a poster in the elevator at my apartment complex.
And while the movie bombed, its star disappeared. Once front and center on every magazine cover and talk show stage, Rachel Zegler has all but vanished from the spotlight. Sources close to the production say Zegler intentionally retreated to New York City, far from Hollywood's cameras and even farther from the critics. A fan spotted her riding the subway in silence, wearing a hoodie and avoiding eye contact. No glam team. No entourage. Just a girl trying to escape a storm of her own making. She hasn't posted to social media in weeks. Her once constant live streams are gone. For someone who once claimed she lived to perform, Rachel Zegler seems more interested in disappearing than defending her legacy. The disaster didn't stop at the door of the theater. It stormed straight into Disney's financial records.
Move on to lighter news now, and a news that will surprise, well, none of us. Disney's live-action remake Snow White is officially one of the biggest flops in Hollywood history.
Snow White carried a reported $250 million price tag when you combine production costs with its globe-spanning marketing blitz. But despite the aggressive ad campaigns, social media promotions, and Zegler's early press appearances, the return was chilling. The film only managed to pull in $195 million at the global box office, not even enough to cover costs. Analysts project a net loss of $145 million, possibly more when accounting for international distribution penalties. The ripple effect? Disney is now reconsidering all planned remakes, including a $300 million live-action Tangled project that was expected to begin pre-production in June. That project has now been paused indefinitely. Investors are angry. Executives are silent. And Bob Iger is under fire.
I love what you said about wanting to entertain audiences. Critics saying Disney's too woke, but you're putting out storytelling.
We are. Look, I don't really like the term woke because I think it's an umbrella term that I'm not 100% sure I even know what it means, and one could argue that sometimes it's used too liberally. That said, our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world, but the first thing we need to do is entertain.
To understand the backlash, you have to understand the betrayal fans felt. Rachel Zegler didn't just promote her version of Snow White, she trashed the original. During interviews, she mocked the 1937 animated classic, calling the prince a stalker and the romance creepy. She said her Snow White wouldn't be rescued by any man and promised the story would be rewritten to reflect modern values. But instead of inspiring a new generation, her comments alienated generations of fans. On social media, longtime Disney lovers accused her of arrogance. Parents said their kids found the film boring and confusing. Others were frustrated that the remake felt more like a lecture than an escape. What was once a beloved fairy tale about love and kindness had become, in the words of one viral tweet, a woke political thesis with a tiara.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Behind the camera, things weren't much better. Several cast and crew members, who asked to remain anonymous, painted a picture of a chaotic, uncomfortable set. Rachel Zegler reportedly demanded last-minute script changes, refused to film scenes with the prince unless they were deconstructed, and clashed with senior production staff over the tone of the film. Even Gal Gadot, Disney's A-list draw as the evil queen, began to distance herself. During a final promotional interview, Gadot avoided even mentioning Zegler by name, and privately, insiders say she told execs that Rachel's behavior had single-handedly torpedoed the film. Disney allegedly asked Gal to take over some of the marketing duties after Rachel's interviews went viral. She declined. If Disney hoped international markets would rescue the film, they were sorely mistaken. In China, where the company spent millions on local promotions, the film collapsed immediately. One IMAX theater in Shanghai, built to hold 500 people, had only 5 attendees during opening weekend. Even more shocking? Rachel Zegler herself showed up for one of those screenings. In a moment that stunned fans and critics alike, Zegler entered the half-empty theater, hoping to show her support for the release. Instead, she was filmed sitting completely alone, a moment that quickly spread across TikTok, racking up over 3 million views in 48 hours. The caption read, "Even the Queen can't save this kingdom."